Let's bring you some breaking news that has come to us in the last minute or so from Buckingham Palace.
For years, the royal family has weathered countless scandals, but few have erupted as suddenly as this.
What are you able to bring to these sorts of conversations?
Well, I'm not sure what I'm able, something I could do to...
When private yacht photos allegedly involving Queen Camilla surfaced, the rumors spread like wildfire, and all eyes turned to Prince William.
I think it's very important that tradition stays, and tradition has a huge part of all this. But there's also points where you look at tradition and go, is that still fit for purpose today? Is that still the right thing to do? Are we still doing and having the most impact we could be having?
Then came claims of a dramatic confrontation that sent shockwaves across Britain. Was this simply another royal controversy, or did the leaked images expose something the palace desperately wanted to keep hidden? What William was said to have revealed has left royal watchers questioning everything they thought they knew. But why would William ever think of kicking Camilla out? What did the leaked yacht photos suggest? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. To help us create more videos and uncover the latest royal drama, please subscribe. William's Quiet Palace Power Shift. Alright, so here's where this story starts to take an unexpected turn. According to a growing number of private accounts and royal insiders, something has been happening inside Buckingham Palace that few people ever imagined they would see. Behind the grand ceremonies, polished speeches, and carefully managed public appearances, Prince William is said to have quietly begun reshaping the way the monarchy operates. And if those reports are accurate, one of his very first moves has been to gradually reduce Queen Camilla's influence within the day-to-day workings of the royal household. Now, you might think a change this significant would begin with a shocking leak, an explosive interview, or a palace insider revealing confidential secrets. But that's not what reportedly happened. Instead, the story appears to have started with something almost nobody would ever pay attention to: a routine ship registry document. It was the kind of dry paperwork created for legal and insurance purposes, buried among countless official records that rarely attract a second glance. Yet somehow, that single document has reportedly become the first clue in a story that continues to raise difficult questions inside royal circles. And once people started digging deeper, the picture became far more complicated. What was first described as nothing more than a quiet private summer holiday slowly began to look like something with much bigger consequences. Every new detail seemed to raise another question. Every answer led investigators and royal watchers toward another mystery. Before long, what appeared to be an ordinary vacation was being discussed as a possible struggle over influence, trust, and even the future direction of the monarchy itself. This is where the contrast becomes impossible to ignore. During the early weeks of July 2026, Prince William and Princess Catherine were carrying out the kind of public duties people have come to expect from senior working royals. They were visiting a children's hospice in Birmingham, meeting veterans near Edinburgh, and continuing a busy schedule of official engagements. At almost the very same time, according to later reports, Queen Camilla was spending part of her summer aboard a luxury super yacht anchored off the southern coast of France. The yacht drew attention because it was reportedly Esperanza III, a Malta-registered vessel owned through a Luxembourg holding company and linked to a Swiss-based financier, rather than an official royal yacht. Royal observers were equally struck by the apparent lack of public announcements, palace briefings, or official records of Camilla's trip. Given the monarchy's usual practice of documenting senior royals' movements, the absence of any official acknowledgement prompted speculation among commentators. While no evidence suggested wrongdoing, the unusual lack of transparency led some observers to question why the holiday appeared to have been kept so low profile. But what is so special about the yacht that brought it the news again this year? Could it be another Epstein story in the making? Let's find out. Hidden details behind luxury escape. So, here's where the story reportedly takes another unexpected turn. While the billionaire who owns the luxury yacht has never been accused or convicted of any crime, his name has surfaced over the years in several European lobbying disclosures connected to land development, agriculture, and historic property projects. None of those records prove any wrongdoing, but they were enough to spark fresh debate. Critics argued that these industries can sometimes overlap with areas linked to the crown, raising questions about whether the connection created an uncomfortable appearance. Even if nothing improper actually happened, that wasn't the only detail drawing attention. Reports also claimed that Queen Camilla had spent time aboard the very same yacht on an earlier holiday, meaning the 2026 trip was reportedly not a one-time visit, but part of a wider pattern of social connections. To some royal watchers, that made the situation far more interesting. They wondered whether these repeated visits could invite unnecessary scrutiny at a time when the monarchy is expected to remain above even the slightest hint of controversy. Then another layer of the story began to emerge. According to several reports, the guest list for the voyage included a number of wealthy and influential individuals whose business interests stretched across industries that can sometimes be affected by government decisions or institutions connected to the monarchy. There has been no evidence that business deals were discussed or that any rules were broken during the holiday. Even so, commentators argued that the issue was never really about what happened behind closed doors. Instead, they believed it was about how the situation looked from the outside. And in royal life, appearances often matter almost as much as reality. The monarchy has spent generations trying to protect its reputation for political neutrality and independence. Because of that, even the image of powerful business figures enjoying private time with a senior member of the royal family can quickly become a topic of public debate. Critics argued that ordinary people expect the monarchy to remain distant from situations that could be interpreted as giving wealthy individuals special access, whether or not any influence was ever exercised. But perhaps the most surprising part of the story was how it reportedly came to light in the first place. According to the account, investigators pieced everything together by comparing an ordinary ship registry record with a social media photograph that had been briefly uploaded before being deleted. That single image reportedly became the starting point for a much larger investigation. Journalists then worked to verify the yacht's location, identify several of the passengers, and confirm key details before approaching Buckingham Palace for a response. Whether any royal rules were actually broken remains unproven. However, many observers argued that the controversy was driven less by evidence of misconduct and more by public perception. In the world of the monarchy, where trust and credibility are among its greatest assets, even the appearance of privileged access or possible influence can be enough to ignite headlines and fuel days of intense public discussion. Now, why did Camilla hide this yacht vacation? Is this the first time Camilla is going on a yacht vacation? What was wrong with her? Last yacht holiday? Stay with us. Camilla's super yacht holiday sparks controversy. So, what was supposed to be a quiet summer escape for Queen Camilla suddenly turned into one of the biggest royal talking points of the season. The moment photographs appeared showing her relaxing aboard the luxurious super yacht Zenobia, the internet exploded with questions. Instead of admiring the breathtaking Greek islands or the peaceful holiday setting, people focused on one detail that quickly overshadowed everything else: the identity of the yacht's owner. The stunning vessel, reportedly worth around £30 million, is said to belong to billionaire businessman Wafik Seed, a longtime friend of the Parker Bowles family and a former donor to Britain's Conservative Party. While King Charles remained in Scotland, carrying out official duties, Camilla was enjoying what was described as a private vacation. Yet the trip soon became anything but private. As the photos spread across newspapers and social media, they sparked a debate that reached far beyond a simple summer holiday. The biggest question wasn't whether Camilla deserved a break. It was whether accepting the hospitality of someone with well-known political connections was the right decision for such a senior member of the royal family. Britain's monarchy has long been expected to stay completely neutral in politics. Because of that tradition, critics argued that spending time on a billionaire's yacht, especially one owned by a prominent political donor, could create the impression of political favoritism, even if none was intended. For many royal watchers, appearances matter just as much as actions. As the discussion grew louder, commentators began asking whether this was the kind of situation the monarchy usually tries to avoid. The royal family has spent decades carefully protecting its image, making sure private friendships never appear to influence public responsibilities, even though there was no evidence that politics played any role in the holiday. Some believe the photographs alone were enough to raise uncomfortable questions. Supporters of the Queen, however, saw the story very differently. They pointed out that Wafik Said had reportedly been a close friend of the Parker Bowles family for many years, and that the invitation had nothing to do with politics. According to reports, Said himself defended the holiday, explaining that offering the yacht to longtime friends was simply a personal act of generosity rather than a political gesture. From that perspective, the controversy was little more than a private friendship being turned into a public spectacle. Even so, the images continued to dominate headlines throughout the summer. Many people wondered whether scenes of such extraordinary luxury matched King Charles' vision of a slimmer, more modest monarchy. Others argued that members of the royal family should be allowed to enjoy private holidays without every personal decision becoming a national controversy. In the end, despite weeks of public debate and endless media coverage, there were no official investigations, no disciplinary action, and no indication from Buckingham Palace that any royal rules or protocols had been broken. Yet the episode once again proved how even the most private royal moments can quickly become front-page news. So, what exactly is William aiming at with this eviction? Could there be more to it, beyond the yacht narration? Stay glued. William quietly tightens royal control. Now, this is where things get interesting. According to reports, this yacht holiday did not become controversial simply because of where Queen Camilla went, or who she spent time with. The real issue, at least according to the narrative surrounding the event, had supposedly begun many months earlier. For well over a year, Prince William had reportedly been encouraging a much stricter approach to how senior members of the royal family interacted with wealthy individuals, accepted expensive hospitality, and handled relationships that could raise questions in the public eye. William is said to have believed that, after years of royal scandals and unwanted headlines, the monarchy simply could not afford another situation that might damage public trust. Reports claim these updated internal guidelines were quietly shared with every senior royal household, including Queen Camilla's office. The message was reportedly straightforward. Avoid situations that could create even the appearance of favoritism or privileged access. Yet despite those reported warnings, Camilla is said to have gone ahead with the luxury yacht holiday, a decision that would later attract widespread attention and spark fresh debate. According to the account, the reaction inside Kensington Palace was immediate, even if the public saw none of it at first. Rather than responding with dramatic public statements or emotional outbursts, William reportedly handled the matter in the way he has become known for: calmly, quietly, and behind closed doors. Those who follow royal affairs often point to previous decisions involving Prince Harry, Prince Andrew, and even Camilla's sister Annabel Elliot as examples of William's preference for dealing with sensitive issues privately before the rest of the world ever hears about them. The suggestion is that he believes lasting decisions should be made through careful planning rather than public confrontation. But the story does not end there. According to these reports, Prince William allegedly learned about the yacht holiday before photographs or details reached the newspapers. That detail has fueled even more speculation because it raises one obvious question: who told him? The account suggests that someone with knowledge of the trip deliberately contacted Kensington Palace, believing the situation deserved William's personal attention. If true, this was far more than an ordinary media leak. It would suggest that at least one insider felt the holiday carried consequences significant enough to reach the future king before it reached the public. Perhaps the most intriguing claim is what this alleged tip-off might reveal about the changing balance of power inside the royal family. According to the narrative, some palace insiders were already beginning to see Prince William as the monarchy's emerging decision-maker, even while King Charles remained on the throne. If that interpretation is correct, The yacht controversy was never just about an expensive holiday. Instead, it may have offered an early glimpse into a quiet shift taking place behind palace walls, with William's authority steadily growing long before any official change in title or position made that influence obvious to the outside world. But why is this yacht holiday more complicated? Was Camilla caught in a web of scandal? Which questions arose from the vacation? Keep watching. Camilla's yacht mystery deepens dramatically. All right, so this story was never really just about a luxury yacht or a private getaway. According to reports, the real controversy began when questions were raised about who actually paid for Queen Camilla's reported holiday, and whether everything had been handled as openly as palace rules were supposed to require. What first looked like an ordinary vacation soon became the center of a much bigger conversation about transparency, accountability, and how the royal household manages sensitive matters behind closed doors. According to the claims, the yacht involved in the trip was owned through a complex overseas corporate structure, making it extremely difficult to identify the person or organization that ultimately funded the holiday. That alone sparked curiosity. Critics reportedly wondered why such an expensive trip appeared to be surrounded by so much secrecy. Even more surprising was the claim that the holiday did not appear in the royal family's published transparency records, despite internal palace policies that reportedly require certain gifts, hospitality, and benefits received by senior royals to be formally declared. The story became even more intriguing when attention reportedly shifted to the company connected to the yacht. According to the account, one of the directors had previously been mentioned in a UK parliamentary report that examined concerns about foreign influence in property-related matters. Importantly, the report did not accuse the individual of committing any crime. Still, because the company was also said to have links with royal charities and heritage projects, some observers argued that accepting such hospitality could create the appearance of a conflict of interest, even if no rules had actually been broken. As more questions surfaced, reports claimed that Camilla's representatives insisted the holiday was simply a private matter that did not require public explanation. But according to the same account, Prince William's office was not satisfied with that response. Instead, it reportedly requested a complete explanation of how the trip had been financed and whether every relevant detail had been properly recorded. The narrative also alleged that a similar yacht trip hosted by the same individual in 2023 had never been officially declared either, despite reportedly being discussed privately within palace circles at the time. From there, the focus reportedly widened even further. William's team was said to have examined possible links between the yacht owner, donations from an associated company, and a heritage planning application involving advisors connected to the royal household. However, the account also makes one point absolutely clear. No evidence has been presented showing that Queen Camilla influenced any official decision or acted improperly. Instead, the controversy centered on whether the overlap between private hospitality, charitable donations, and royal connections created the appearance of poor oversight. It remains important to note that these claims have not been established as fact and have not been confirmed by Buckingham Palace. When and where did William assemble the senior royals to give his verdict? How was he able to get his message across? Stay tuned. William demands answers over Camilla, but this is where the story reportedly took a dramatic turn. In mid-July 2026, Prince William is said to have called an important private meeting at Kensington Palace. And according to reports, it was no ordinary royal discussion. Instead of gathering everyone at Buckingham Palace, William reportedly chose his own official residence, a move many interpreted as a clear message that he intended to take personal control of the situation. The atmosphere was said to be serious from the very beginning. Rather than arriving with a few notes, William reportedly walked into the room carrying a thick, printed folder filled with documents. Inside were claimed financial records, port entry logs, lobbying disclosures, and a detailed summary of an earlier yacht trip. The message, according to those familiar with the meeting, was unmistakable. This was no longer palace gossip or media speculation. There were documents, timelines, and questions that demanded answers. As the meeting unfolded, William reportedly turned his attention to senior palace officials. He wanted to know exactly who had known about the earlier yacht trip and, more importantly, why the information had never reached the highest levels of the royal household. According to the account, one official admitted that concerns had indeed been raised internally, but struggled to explain why they had not been fully escalated. That answer reportedly left William deeply dissatisfied. But he wasn't finished. His next question focused on King Charles himself. Exactly what had the king been told? Officials reportedly explained that Charles had received only a basic overview of Camilla's travel plans. They claimed he had not been informed about the yacht owner's identity, the alleged lobbying connections, or the reported financial relationships linked to the trip. If that account is accurate, William reportedly concluded that the palace's internal reporting system had failed to provide the king with the complete picture before decisions were made. According to the same narrative, William then laid out 3 firm demands. First, he reportedly ordered a full written disclosure covering both yacht trips to be submitted to the king's principal private secretary within 7 days. Second, he called for a thorough review of Queen Camilla's charitable patronages to identify any possible connections with outside donors. Finally, he reportedly instructed that all contact between Camilla's household and the yacht owner should be suspended immediately while the matter was examined. That's when the disagreement reportedly became impossible to ignore. According to the claims, Camilla objected through King Charles, insisting she had never intended to mislead anyone. Charles reportedly warned that launching a formal review could only fuel more headlines. William, however, is said to have argued that the story was already in the public eye, and that the palace should confront the issue directly, instead of waiting for even more damaging revelations. When Camilla's office later submitted what was described as an incomplete disclosure, William's team reportedly rejected it outright, highlighting what was portrayed as an unusually public clash between the offices of the future king and the queen consort. So, was Camilla affected by William's verdict? How did it affect the public perception and sentiment? Stay with us. Camilla's influence quietly begins to fade. Here's where the story reportedly took an even more surprising turn. After Queen Camilla's much-discussed yacht holiday sparked fresh headlines, new reports began circulating that raised even more questions inside royal circles. According to several media accounts, one of the people who attended the holiday had previously held a private meeting with someone connected to Camilla's patronage advisory board. While no official wrongdoing has been suggested, the reported connection was enough to fuel speculation and increase concerns among some palace watchers. Then another moment caught people's attention. Around the same time, King Charles attended a major film premiere without Camilla by his side, even though she had originally been expected to join him. The official explanation pointed to a scheduling conflict, but that didn't stop royal commentators from wondering whether something deeper was happening behind palace walls. To many observers, it looked like a small but noticeable shift in royal appearances. Now, this is where things became even more interesting. As King Charles continued the cancer treatment he began in 2024, reports suggested that he had naturally reduced some of his public duties. With the king focusing more on his health, Prince William was said to be taking on a larger share of the monarchy's day-to-day responsibilities. Some royal insiders claimed this growing role also gave William greater influence over important decisions, while Charles was reportedly less able to protect Camilla from increasing public and internal scrutiny. According to these reports, the changes did not happen through dramatic announcements. Instead, they were said to unfold quietly. Camilla's official calendar reportedly became lighter, with several solo engagements reassigned to other working royals instead of simply being cancelled. Her office was also said to have undergone restructuring, resulting in a smaller team, while reports claimed her access to some senior palace briefings became more limited than before. At the same time, Catherine, Princess of Wales, was reportedly taking on a growing number of important engagements, including some that had originally been linked to Camilla. Reports also highlighted a family weekend at Highgrove, attended by King Charles, Prince William and Catherine, where Camilla was reportedly absent. Although no official significance was attached to the gathering, many commentators viewed it as another sign that the balance of influence within the royal family might be evolving. Even with all this speculation, one fact remained unchanged. Camilla continued to serve as queen consort, appeared alongside King Charles at major state occasions, and retained all of her official titles. It's also important to remember that Buckingham Palace has not confirmed these reports. Much of the story comes from unnamed sources and media speculation, meaning the claims should be treated as allegations and interpretations, rather than established fact. Away from Camilla, what are the people saying about William's verdict? Could that single act have earned William the trust and confidence of the masses? Let's find out. William's vision reshapes royal future. Now, this is where things get interesting. What began as a few quiet changes behind palace walls has reportedly grown into something much bigger, a complete rethink of how the monarchy should operate in the years ahead. According to reports, Prince William has made it clear that he wants the institution to be guided by honesty and accountability above everything else. During a reported meeting with senior civil servants in late July 2026, William is said to have remarked that no institution can survive if it protects individuals at the expense of integrity. While he never mentioned anyone by name, many royal observers believe the comment revealed the principles he intends to follow as the future king. Since inheriting the Duchy of Cornwall, Prince William has reportedly favored transparency, clear rules, and documented decision-making over tradition and informal practices. Royal commentators believe this approach was shaped by the lasting impact of Princess Diana's death, which highlighted the dangers of secrecy and institutional protection. As a result, William is said to support a leaner monarchy with fewer working royals, stronger financial oversight, clearer governance, and stricter safeguards against conflicts of interest, believing these measures will strengthen public trust and ensure greater accountability within the institution. And this is where the conversation turns toward Queen Camilla. Following reports surrounding her luxury yacht holiday, some commentators have suggested that her influence within royal circles has gradually declined. Rather than facing a dramatic public removal, they claim her role has quietly become less prominent, with fewer high-profile engagements and a reduced presence in key royal activities. At the same time, Catherine, Princess of Wales, is increasingly seen as William's closest partner in shaping the monarchy's future, taking on a more visible and strategic role beside him. Looking even further ahead, many royal experts believe the biggest changes could come after King Charles is no longer on the throne. Although Camilla would reportedly remain Queen Dowager, much of the institutional support connected to Charles's reign would naturally come to an end, while the crown's major responsibilities and assets would pass to William. If that happens, the extent of Camilla's public role would likely depend largely on William's vision for the monarchy. Of course, many questions remain unanswered. Did Camilla fully appreciate how her decisions might be viewed? Will William's commitment to accountability leave enough room for compassion? And despite their reported differences, could he eventually choose reconciliation over distance? For now, one thing seems clear. The monarchy appears to be evolving, step by careful step. Still, it is important to remember that many of these accounts come from media reports and royal commentary rather than official confirmation from Buckingham Palace. So, what do you think about Camilla's leaked yacht photos? Do you think kicking her out is justified? We'd love to hear your opinions in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe.